Sitting down and designing why every man in the thinking what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy. I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Beige, I'm your one I wanna be. Jimmy Star's new celebrity.
Hello, what's up? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the best in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. What's up, everybody? We got a great show for you today. It's time for us to introduce our first guest on the Jimmy Star Show today. We want to welcome the fabulously talented actor, Mr. Brett Rice. Hello, and welcome to the Jimmy Star Show.
Hey, guys, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get started, let me introduce you to everybody. We got our cool, outrageous man about town, Mr. Ron Russell.
Ron Russell, nice to see you.
Now, you think you're a big shot, right?
Oh, yes, I am a big
because
shot.
of the people you've worked with. Jimmy gave me the list, and I almost fell over backwards from the stars. But you know what? Let me tell you something, Buster. You're nothing. I worked with Sophia Loren, and after Sophia, there's nobody.
Well, I'm just going to have to bow down to you right now.
You betcha. You betcha. Because
I'm not worthy.
Working with Sophia was like the trip of, it was my first film I ever did, and I was like in heaven because I adore Sophia. But anyway, you've got some roster of stars, my friend. You must be big cheese in the business. You get paid a lot of that, huh?
I don't think I'm big cheese. I just like to go out there and do the work. I'm having a great time.
There you go.
You got to get good coin for that because these stars are big movies. These are not Mickey Mouse indies, you know.
So hold on. We got to introduce you to Chad, the man behind the boards.
Hey,
right.
welcome to the show. You can't see me. I'm a big fan of yours.
Hey, Chad, thank you very much. I'd be a big fan of yours, but I can't see you.
There you go. And we have a chat room full of people, so say hello to everybody in the chat room.
Hello, everybody in the chat room. Good to see you.
There you go. So first of all, you're in Florida, which is unusual, and I'm actually a native Floridian. We are in Pennsylvania now, and I moved here 2 years ago, but I lived in Florida for 48 years. Where do you live in Florida?
We're about
Don't give us the town. Hold it. Don't give us the town. Just the no, he can't give the town. No, the nuts will go down there to get him. Give us just the don't give us the location.
Outside of Orlando.
There you go. Okay, outside of Orlando. I grew up in West Palm Beach, and I went to high school in Jacksonville and college in Gainesville, so I'm like a native Floridian.
That's great. I'm from Georgia originally.
Okay, I like that. So I wanted to bring that up, and then I thought I would bring.
Wait. Here originally from Georgia. We're going to Georgia at the end of this month to a big rock and roll and whatever festival.
Oh, I haven't been up to Atlanta except to work for. Well, I left there in '85.
Well, Jimmy, what's the name of the town we're going to? Because we never heard of it.
Mableton, Georgia.
Mableton.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that a big town or
no,
little?
that's a little town.
It's not. It's a little town. You'll have a great time there. It's very, very quiet.
Are they going to beat gay guys up?
There might be a few.
No, beating us up.
Oh, there could be.
A few that might be beating us up?
No.
So I should bring my Brazilian Mastiff with me.
That would be a good idea. Just keep it on a leash.
He'll eat them.
So first of all, then we have a you know how they had that movie 6 Degrees of Separation?
That's right.
Okay, so like I've been in 2 of the same things that you have been in, although you were like a major person and I was an extra. But I was in an episode of Burn Notice, and I was in the movie Sex Drive.
Well, you were in Sex Drive. Well,
I was in Sex Drive, I know. And so I was going through your IMDb today, just looking at all the other things that I didn't exactly know that you were in, and I thought that's cool because like almost every show I've been an extra in something that everybody who comes on, I've been an extra in one of their films.
Listen up, extra. Read the list of stars that this man has worked with. I'm so impressed.
Okay, this isn't going to be everybody.
Yes,
all right, everybody. Okay, so you guys, this is Brett Rice. He's got a phenomenal resume. We're going to talk about a bunch of the movies, but just to give you an idea of the caliber of people, even like the people that he works with that you don't know. Hang on, wait, that are super famous.
Jesus Christ.
Just relax. All right, here we go.
Like a magpie.
First of all, he's got Woodlawn coming out. It's got John Voight and Sean Astin in it. He's worked with Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, Vanessa Redgrave, Mark Ruffalo, Meryl Streep, Tommy Lee Jones, Nicolas Cage, January Jones. I wrote Irony Singleton and Xander Berkeley down because they've both been on our show.
And they're our friends.
And they're our friends. Kate Hudson, Kathy Bates, Peter Dinklage, Whoopi Goldberg, Matthew Modine, who's been on the show, Bob Gunton, who's been on the show, Robert Forster, Kevin Spacey, Camilla Bell, Let's see. Charlize Theron, Christina Ricci, Tom Hanks, Brad Pitt, Julia Lewis, David Duchovny, Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder, Anthony Michael Hall, who's been on the show, and Diane Wiest. And I know there's a lot more, but those are just the ones I picked out.
And if that doesn't knock shit out of you, nothing will.
I tell you what, after working with all those people, I sure would like to be like one of them.
Or make
you can call me up and saying, hey, look who's worked with you.
No, make their salaries, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, John Voight, I know.
Yes.
My daughter Deirdre went to school with Angie, and Angie used to play in our house when we lived over in Beverly Hills on, what the hell do I live? Spalding. And so John and I used to, be with the kids when they played across the street at the high school, and they were lovely kids. John was a very quiet guy, very serious guy, didn't tell much about himself, very, very inward.
Still doesn't to this day.
Huh?
Still doesn't to this day, as
Still,
far as I know.
I was going to ask, when you work with him, does he warm up ever?
He does warm up, but he's not forthcoming with his past or his family. He's lovely to talk to. You talk about the craft all day long, and he's always got an open mind to new ideas about how to work the scene.
Right.
I mean, he's a giving man.
I liked him. He was very nice to me always. Halloween, we took the kids out to the witch's house in Beverly Hills. And
oh, yeah.
I've told the story already. I don't want to reiterate it, but Doris Day's stepson was throwing eggs at Angie and my daughter. So John and I didn't want to go over and kick the kid around because he'd go tell his mother and it might get out in the press. And John Voight was afraid that the press would write John Voight beat up Billy Camden, because he threw eggs at his daughter. So we had to go over to Billy very nicely and listen. And I said to Billy, I'm telling your mother. He said, you don't know my mother. I said, I certainly do know your mother. She lives around the corner from us.
Oh, my God.
You stupid jerk.
So let's go. Okay, so you have, first of all, because we're going to talk a little bit about Woodlawn, but first of all, I'm going to, just so people can hear, because you guys will recognize a whole bunch of these movies also. He was in Hope Springs, the remake of Footloose that came out a couple years ago, Seeking Justice, Super 8, which is one of my favorite ones, A Little Bit of Heaven, The Trial, Father of Invention, Dear John, The Blind Side, Sex Drive, which I brought up, Monster with Charlize Theron. But here's my favorite of all. And the reason I saw that you were in Woodlawn, and it's what made me think of you to have you on as a guest, was Remember the Titans. And then I was looking on your IMDb. Dude, you're like in like every sports movie that comes out.
Well, for a while there, I was if you needed a redneck coach, you called me up.
You look like a sportsy guy. But you know what fascinates me is always, I have so many friends that are character actors, big names, we won't mention who they are, but you, I'm sure, know most of them. They work all the time. They're always working. The big stars for a year. But then I figured it out. The big stars get $50 million a picture. The poor character actor could work the rest of his life before he sees $2 million. So that's the sad part. I feel that a character actor such as yourself should be highly paid because you're such an important part to the film. The stars sometimes don't really work as hard as the character actor, and the character actor carries the star. Am I right?
Well, I don't want to piss off any of the leading stars.
I'm sure you carried many. I've seen your work.
You make a good point. You make a very good point that the character actors do carry a lot of the show. However, Hollywood and the producers in the studios, they're going to need those stars to sell the product.
I just wish they, of course you get union scale, which is pretty good, but I wish there was another contract that you could make, one to give a little bit more money. I don't think that Meryl Streep, who's wonderful, by the way, needs to get all the money she gets. I think they could take a couple $100,000 from her and give it to you.
I appreciate that. And, there's always the negotiation process, and I've got some great people in Hollywood that take care of me, Justice and Ponder.
Now, I want to ask you another question. Do you get at the end money?
Oh, back end money.
Well, you can negotiate a back-end deal.
But you never get it.
I've done it a few times, and right now I've got a couple sitting out there. But for the most part, no, I just have my guys negotiate my contract straight up front. If we get into more of an independent budget type of independent movie, then yeah, you can negotiate some points on the back end to see if you do a Star Wars kind of thing, then you don't have to worry about your life.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Your life.
According to the film. But still, I would like to see all the actors make money, not just the stars. Who was it that I was talking to? I know if it was, I can't help but drop names because everybody I know is in the business. So screw you if you don't like dropping names. But our audience loves it. They love it. I don't know if it was Rock Hudson, I was talking to, or somebody else that said to me, Ron, if I make one more film, it goes directly to the government. I don't see a penny of it. That's why I don't want to do any more films this year. Who was it that said that? I forgot who it was, Jimmy. I told you it was somebody big, super big.
But when you make
a lot of these guys, they make $10 or $20 million. 48% of it, or 42% has gone to the government. 15 or 25% has gone to their agents and managers, and then their team gets another 20. So if they make $20 million, they might see two. Exactly. It's the way I look at it.
And if they're over on taxes, they have to pay X amount of dollars.
That's correct.
So really, you're better off just making $1 million a film. So don't turn down the $1 million offer.
You know what? I'm just waiting for that phone call.
There you go. You're gonna get it, dude. With all, I mean, you really do. I'm so like excited about the body of work that you do, and believe it or not, I don't like sports. Okay, I don't like. I played tennis all growing up and through college. I don't, but I'm not a.
He's a fairy. Fairies don't like sports.
But wait a second.
Well, I was a big jock back in high school.
I love sports movies, though. I love all the hockey movies like Mystery Alaska and all that kind of, like, I love, what was that, Miracle. I love all the football movies like Rudy, and Remember the Titans is one of the most inspirational, like, movies, like, ever. I love it. So I watch it all. Anytime I'm, like, feel like, I don't know, like the world's coming down on me, I watch it just to get me, like, inspired. And now you've got another one, Woodlawn. So, like, even though I can't stand, like, I would never go and watch a football game, like, I went to University of Florida. I never went. I got a job.
You could have been a cheerleader.
I worked on Saturdays, and I sold my tickets for money that I had that my parents bought me. I didn't want to go to the game. So it's funny that I would never go watch one of those events in real life, but the movies are always so like Invincible. Did you see Invincible?
I did.
What a great movie. So what do you think about the fact that, like, I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyway,
wait, no, you lost it. He's going to answer, but not you.
Answer.
You're
okay.
dead. You're dead.
Woodlawn's a faith-based movie, but it's set with football as the background, and John Boyd as Bear Bryant, and Caleb Castile as the All-American football player Tony Nathan, who of course went on to a great pro career.
Yes.
But it's basically, the story was about the separation between church and state, and trying to bring religion into the classroom and the Lord's Prayer, and so once you see the movie, you'll understand it. But the backdrop is football, and how the students and the football players on opposing teams were able to come together and unite, but still having that fabulous Remember the Titans flavor of football and the craziness that goes on with that.
I can't
wait. You get caught up in it.
We had Kevin Sizemore on last week, and he was promoting it, and he basically kind of like said the same thing. So, like, I'm very excited about it. You guys can see the movie. It comes out October 16th, right?
That's correct.
So that's the day after my birthday. So that's next Friday, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I'll be back out in Hollywood, and I'll be seeing it out there that day.
That's perfect. So, I love it.
Now, you see Jimmy and I fighting all the time and acting like married couples. Well, we are married. We're having our 2-year marriage anniversary in a couple of days.
On my birthday.
On his birthday. So that's why we fight like married people. But as far as it's true, everybody thinks that fairies don't like sports. That's not true. Look at Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner is the biggest fairy I know. I mean, she's a girl now with a dick. I mean, a chick with a dick. I don't get it. But anyway, she's a girl with a wang. How's she going to work that out? I'll never know. I'm trying to figure it out. What is she going to do with women? She likes women. So how's she going to be a lesbian, right? I can't figure it out. Nobody wants to discuss it because
I don't want to discuss it either.
I'm not discussing it. I just don't know how to answer it.
We're allowed to discuss it because we're gay. And if gay people can't figure it out, how the fuck are straight people ever going to figure it out?
Language.
Oh, iHeart sends me.
Oh, I hope all the straight people do figure it out. I did.
Figure it out. I wonder.
All right, so let's get off of that one. I don't like talking about that one. It gets people upset.
Oh, I do it in a laughing way.
I know, you do it in a laughing ways. Okay, so you've been in a ton of movies. Do you have, like, a few that are your favorites?
Well, yeah, I did a golf movie once called Bobby Jones' A Stroke of Genius because I'm a big golfer.
Okay.
And we got to go to Scotland, play St. Andrews and King's Barn, and then went to Atlanta to film and played all the great courses up there. And so that has to be one of my favorite. And I got to play golf with Malcolm McDowell almost every day. So it was a wonderful time.
Right? No, that's what I'm being sarcastic. I said that had to be a torture going to all those places in Scotland. Gee whiz.
Oh yeah. It was dreadful. 2 weeks in St. Andrews, and
oh my God,
my wife came with me, and we had a wonderful time playing the courses and shopping.
Jesus, my heart bleeds for you.
So
It really
out of all
does.
the people, because really the only person I see on your list, and maybe I missed it on IMDb, because the only really big person you haven't really worked with is George Clooney. Have you worked with George Clooney yet?
I have not worked with George Clooney yet. No. I think we look a lot alike, so he might be afraid.
Exactly.
That was perfect.
He might just be going, not quite, not just yet. Maybe as he gets a little older.
You've never worked with the superstar, Ron Russell.
I have not, but I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I'd love to get a movie going. Maybe I have one.
Listen, we got some other shows coming up. Transparent, which won a bunch of Emmys the other night.
Yes.
Yes,
I got
we know that.
the opportunity this season to work in their new season.
What did you think? Sorry. What did you think about the Kardashians winning an Emmy for that stupid show that has no point?
I don't believe that show should be winning anything to begin with. I'm sorry.
Exactly. There's no script. There's no acting. It's a bunch of broads with fat asses running around dressed up like fools, making everybody envious and hating them. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
And I don't watch the Real Housewives shows either. So.
I don't watch none of that junk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I watch Turner Classic Movies when movies were made well.
That's right.
Star.
And I love all of them. But yeah, we have some much more coming out. Transparent was great. A shout out to the gang over there because they really have. As I've told them, I said if I could be on a set, if more sets were run the way Transparent ran their set, we'd have a lot more quality shows out there. And that's
Absolutely.
I wish.
And Jeffrey Tambor follows me on Twitter. He's really nice.
Right. Jeff is
Now, what's Merrill like to work with?
Meryl, I did not get a chance to work with her because I worked with Tommy Lee. But Tommy Lee is a great. He doesn't talk very much, and Tommy Lee used to be a running back, I believe, when he was in college, and he's got a huge noggin, and he's very imposing to look at. And when he looks at you, you know you've been seen. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Kind of imposing stare at you.
Which one is Tommy
Lee Jones.
Yeah, I know who he is now. Okay.
Fugitive.
Yeah, you know who I confuse him always with? Angie's ex-husband. The rock guy that's a good actor now, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thornton.
Yeah,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. I confuse him. That guy turned out to be some hell of an actor.
Billy Bob, yeah, I'd love to work with him.
Have you worked with him?
No, I would love to work with him, though.
Yeah, because he feeds energy. You can really work with him.
Who would be like your ideal person to work with, either living or dead? Like if you could, besides Ron Russell, that you could work with that you haven't worked with already. You can't pick somebody that you already worked with.
Eric. Oh my gosh, now I just lost his name. The great pirate movies.
Oh, yeah.
Errol Flynn?
Errol Flynn, yeah. That's who
that would be difficult.
Oh my God, I knew that.
That's Errol Flynn is just so amazing back then. And there's other names that I can't think of right now. You just put me in the spot.
Okay.
But I love the period pieces, from the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah, well,
I do a lot of them, so.
I would have loved to have worked with Cary Grant.
Oh, that would have been exciting.
Would that have been a trip? He was the best.
Grace Kelly. I'm sorry, I have to go with Grace.
Grace.
Who's Grace?
Grace Kelly.
Oh, absolutely. There's two people that I simply adore, is Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly. I have never interviewed them because at that time of my life I was an actor. But I was dear friends with Mr. Blackwell. You've heard of Mr. Blackwell. Best friends. I mean, Richard and I hung out. And he dressed Audrey and he dressed Grace. And I said, what was Audrey Hepburn like in person? He said, exactly as you see her on the screen. Charming. Wow. Lovely.
That's great.
I said, what was
Grace? You can say about someone.
Wait, I said, what was Grace Kelly like? He said, wild, always horny. He said she would make it with the gas station attendant if he was cute. She was not cold and frigid like everybody said. She was a hottie. She banged Bing Crosby. She banged all of them that she made movies with. Every guy she made a film with, she banged. So there you go. But he said she was lovely and wonderful, and he adored both of them.
Ron had a television show in L.A. for many years on Time Warner called Set the Record Straight, where he interviewed like the legends of Hollywood, like Jane Russell, Tab Hunter. I don't know.
All the big stars, Lawrence Cole, Tony Curtis, oh God, the list goes on. All the biggies of yesteryear. And a lot of them remained my friends, and I went to parties and met other major stars. And I got to tell you something. Whether they were on or off, they acted like stars. In private, they behaved like stars.
Right.
It wasn't like today's people. They're stoned. They're peeing in their pants. They're cursing.
Right.
They're vomiting. I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, I think, don't you think that maybe back in that era, the paparazzi were more friendly or
paid off is the word. Paid off.
Paid
off. Lana Turner paid fortunes of money. From her mouth to my ears, she paid fortunes of money to keep scandals down about Lana Turner because she was a scandalous woman.
Yeah.
And also, Betty Davis said the same thing, that the studios protected her so much because Betty Davis was supposed to be this wonderful, sophisticated, superstar. When in reality, Howard, Jane Russell's guy, Howard, the pilot, Howard Hughes, made public that Betty Davis had the best tits he's ever felt in his life. And she has big tits, Betty Davis, and nobody knew that. And Betty Davis told me this. She went nuts when they wrote that because that was like taking her out of character, putting her in a sexy slot. So they had protection, the studios.
Yeah, well, I think nowadays the stars, they come up the ranks and they're getting all the paparazzi, they're doing all the publicity that they need to do. It's just that when you take it a step further, it becomes dangerous.
Well, Britney Spears getting out of a truck without panties and a legs, I think is a bit much.
Somebody's going to take that shot anyway.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, baby. Her beaver was shot a lot.
Yes, I'm sure.
I think that's funny because since you're in the over 50-year-old age bracket, because like I'm going to be 51 next week, and Ron's been 50, for the last 25 years, and so like as far as because I had never watched Turner Classic Movies ever until I met Ron. So I've been watching it for like 3 years, and it's definitely like the movies are very, very different than what I grew up on and what I'm used to seeing. And in reality TV, because I work for a record label, I only like the singing shows like The Voice and stuff. I don't like any of the other ones. But I think reality TV in a lot of ways has ruined television. And I think a lot of the reality TV stars,
took away
from the yes.
And I think that the reality TV stars that are getting paid, millions of dollars to do things, even though they don't really have a talent, has also kind of like ruined things. Because then when you're casting films, sometimes like people who really know how to act and have studied and have a craft get overlooked because they put some person in because they were famous for, I don't know, like pooping on a TV show.
Well, and a lot of there's so many stations out there now, not just the networks and the studios, but so many little stations that are just shooting whatever, and so get your iPhone out there, shoot something, and put it on YouTube, or it gets picked up, it goes viral, and then it goes into the network.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's coming to.
I have news for you. Great news for you if you haven't heard, because I have ins in Hollywood with all the actors. Okay. Hollywood has finally realized there are more senior citizens alive today than ever in the history of the world. Now they said 70 is the new 50 in Hollywood. 40. They only want to hire actors that are from majority 60 and 70-year-old actors just didn't work anymore. They were thrown in the garbage. Yeah. So now older actors are coming back because of the wonderful films that are being made. We just saw the wonderful film the other night. What was it?
The Intern.
The Intern. It was a fabulous film, and so many other films that Judi Dench is doing and all the other actresses. So there's going to be a lot of work for old bags like me and older guys like you. So that's good news.
Yeah, that is great news for me. And I'll tell you what, this past year has been a lot more work from Los Angeles than the previous years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got my house here in Florida, and my wife is here, and we just love it. We love being here. But, the work's going to be starting coming out of L.A., so we go from L.A. I just fly around to different places to shoot.
Yeah.
And I found that my age bracket is getting a lot more recognition. A lot more auditions are coming that way.
Because now
I'm happy for that.
Jimmy and I are bringing our show to California because we really don't want to do Skype interviews anymore. We want to be in-house interviews. So, and all my celebrities are out there, the people I know, and I have so many friends that would gladly come on our show because our show is crazy and fun, and we have an enormous audience. So they want to push whatever they have. So we're going to work it out of L.A., I think, next January and February. No, we're away then, probably the spring. So we'll have you on, but you're in Florida.
And I'd love to come out because you won't be very far from me, I'm sure. And and I've got a lot more things opening up. That will be opening up early in the spring and summertime next year.
So let me ask you a question, because you're so well known and you have all these like iconic movies that you've been in and stuff. Like, do you still have to audition, or do they just basically like offer you the parts, or do you still have to actually like audition?
Sometimes we do.
No, I still have to go in and see the studio heads, especially for pilots. You still got to meet the suits, but from time to time, somebody will call me up and make an offer, and I'll go work. But no, I still walk in and see producers and directors. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a pilot. I'm going back to LA next week to film with John Singleton on his new pilot, Snowfall.
Oh, that's cool.
I have to go in. I'd worked with John before, but I actually had to go back in to see him and get the part.
I actually worked with him. I did the costume. I used to be a celebrity clothing designer, and I did the costume work on Too Fast, Too Furious, and he was the director.
Well, that's the one I'd worked with him on Rosewood.
Okay.
He was supposed to hire me for Too Fast, and he didn't. I came back to him with Snowfall and went, okay, John, my turn. How about a little while here?
He's great, though. He's a great guy, so that's really cool.
But as far as the interviewing goes, I won't give the name, but a super-duper star from like the 1950s, whose still name is so big, was asked to audition for a part, and he got very upset. He said, listen, I've been in 135 films, and I've worked, and I'm a superstar. My name is above the credit, the title of the film. I have to do an audition. They said, yes, because the Asian money that's backing our film wants to see what you could do with the part. They don't know who you are. He said, well, look at one of my old movies. And he said, they won't. They want new stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you like them apples, my buddy?
Hey, I've walked into a few auditions here this past year, and I've run into some very, very talented and I would say A-list to B-plus list actors in the same room reading against me. And, of course, I'm looking at them going, well, I guess I'm in the big swimming pool now.
or they jumped into
here they all are, and I'm going, okay, guys, let's go do our thing. And I've walked out with a role every once in a while, but, you know.
So,
I like the
let me tell you, you're a good actor. I know your work. I've seen, I don't know, remember what films I've seen you in, but I've seen so many films.
I've seen all of them.
But you know, I remember good work. I remember act, and I wouldn't say this because I blow smoke up no one's ass, as you can tell. I know good work when I see it. Natural. You're a natural actor. You don't act. I like that. You do your lines, but you do it the way it's supposed to be, and you're very vital to the film, as is so many friends of mine that are character. I call them character actors. I don't think they call them that.
Character actors, yes, we are.
Character actors. I don't think that. I thought.
Yeah, he said yes.
Oh, they still do. Okay.
So I want to talk specifically because I'm a horror movie fan. How do you say horror?
Horror.
Okay, horror. Anyway,
he says horror.
He thinks I say horror. Okay. Either way, Super 8. Like, I love Super 8. Basically, like, you play the sheriff in Super 8, and it was a really cool film. And actually, all the young people that were in that because the kids were really the center of attention of the film. You know, they've all gone on now to do huge things. They're all really big. Like, how was Super 8? How was working on Super 8? And do you watch yourself? Like, when movies come out in the theaters, do you go and watch yourself?
You know what? My wife and I have a nice sound system in our house, entertainment system. We don't really go out to see the movies at all. We just wait for DVDs.
Okay.
So, but this time, Woodlawn, I'll be out in LA, so I'm going to go see that. I did go to see Super 8 because it is J.J. Abrams and it is a spectacular show. Right. So I did go to the theater to see it in the big 3D. I mean, not 3D, but IMAX.
Like this TV show, I never see the film of this when it's up on television. I can't bear to watch myself because I think it's so nothing. Why do people even like you? Why do they even watch? You make me vomit. That's what I say when I look at it. I say, you need a facelift. You look like a flaming fag with your eyebrows. You know, I mean, I really get crazy. I hate it. How do you feel when you see yourself?
I feel about the same way. What is this? Oh my God, I look so huge.
Why? Why do we do that?
I'm a large man. That's it. You just want to go see yourself on the big screen every once in a while. I did that when I was in my long time ago. And nowadays, I really don't want to go see myself because I'm a bigger man now in more ways than one.
When I was in That Kind of Woman with Chap Hunter and Sophia Loren, and I went to the movie theater, I couldn't wait to see myself. I was an extra then, but an important extra, like not atmosphere, featured extra. And when I looked at it, I thought, that's not me. I don't look like that. I look nothing like that. Absolutely nothing. Did you get that feeling when you first saw yourself on the big screen?
First time I saw myself was on a movie. Who was it? Bear Bryant's story back in the 70s or 80s. I can't remember when. And I played an All-American football player catching passes and doing. And I saw myself on screen for the first time on that huge 30-foot screen.
That's right.
And I was excited back then. Now I see myself on that 30-foot screen and I go, oh my God.
No, but what I did when I saw that kind of woman, I saw it in New York City when it premiered, and I actually was a kid. I was 19 years old. When the film was over, I kind of walked around and was disappointed that nobody recognized me. I thought that thousands of people would come up and say, oh, weren't you wonderful sitting next to Sophia on the train, you know?
I would have been happy just sitting next to her.
I was. Let me tell you something. She was, she didn't speak English well because this was back in '59, and I speak Italian fluently because I'm an Italian. So she adopted me. And I sat in George Sanders' chair on the set, and somebody came over and very nastily said, you know, you're not allowed to do this. Get out of his chair. And she turned around and said something about, anyway, he can stay here, my permission granted. And, of course, they wouldn't go against Sophia Loren. And I was surrounded. I mean, if I was straight, I would have had a heart on the whole show because Sophia's in this thing with her tits hanging out. And Barbara Nichols, you know, Barbara Nichols, that gorgeous, sexy blonde, she's got them hanging out. And they know I'm a gay guy, I guess, obviously. And all they did was sit on my lap and giggle and tickle me, and I would tickle them. And we had the gayest little time. And I mean, a lot of the crew were looking. One funny story is we shot in the railroad station in Long Beach, Long Island, and we all had to go to the bathroom. Well, we had to go to the public bathroom because they didn't have, you know, porta toilets. And Tab Hunter would go in. Well, when Tab Hunter was in the bathroom, no one was allowed to go in the bathroom. So I asked one of the camera guys, I said, what's that all about? He said, well, baby, let me tell you something. If you go in that bathroom, Tab Hunter's never coming out.
Yeah.
And we have a movie to shoot. Well, I interviewed Tab Hunter years later, and I mentioned that on the interview, and he said, how old were you? I said, 19. He said, they were right.
Yeah, oh my.
So I have another movie question because I didn't see Foxcatcher. It's one of the only things I haven't seen that you've been in, and
Right.
But Mark Ruffalo is in that. Did you get to work?
Yeah.
I'm asking this really question for Ron because out of all the actors, younger actors in Hollywood, that's like his favorite. Like, did you get to meet Mark Ruffalo, and was he cool?
Yes. Mark Ruffalo is the salt of the earth. He's what you see on film. It's exactly how he is off the screen. He is a lovely man to talk to, very soft-spoken, very intelligent, and will talk with anybody for as long as they want to talk.
I love
just that kind of guy.
I know it. He just has a personality that you want to hang out with him. You want to be his best friend.
I love that.
And if you're gay, you want to
feel like
him.
you're important to like. He's really listening to what you have to say and really wants to hear what you're saying.
Right.
So I mean, whether it's a put on or not, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Lovely man.
He's Italian. Italians like that.
All right, everybody. So this is Brett Rice we've got on the phone. First of all, he's got a really cool website. If you go to brettrice.com, he's got like his demo reels, acting reels. You can see all kind of clips from movies that he's been in and see what's going on with him. If you follow him on Twitter, he's at @BrettRice_. And so follow him on Twitter, and let's build his Twitter following up. Make sure October 16th. Say that again?
To get those Twitters,
That's right. Let's get those Twitters up.
They get work.
October 16th is Woodlawn coming out. It's going to be a great film. We had Kevin Sizemore on last week. It's a great inspirational film. October 16th worldwide. Everybody can go see it. Also, just go on IMDb and then like plug in Brett Rice and just go see all his work because like all the stuff he's been in is fabulous.
It's true.
Yes, it's true. Any other things? Any other plug of anything we want to put in while we got you on?
Well, like I said, Transparent's going to be coming out next sometime in December. I've got a movie that just came out, The Square Root of Two, with Darby Stanchfield from Scandal. It's on the squareroot2.com website. You can pick it up there. I'm in Angie Tribeca, which is a TBS show. The comedy is going to be opening up sometime in November, December, I believe. And then a few more films are opening up next year. I'm working Monday with Clint Eastwood, Tom Hanks, and Aaron Eckhart in Atlanta in the movie about the Hudson River crash called Sully.
There you go. Dude, you were such a rock star.
I really think I'm starting to hate you. A lot. I mean, big time hate.
No, I'm
Clint
tell you
Eastwood,
what.
I mean, those are names that we didn't. Clint Eastwood and Aaron Eckhart weren't in the list before, everybody. So just add it to the list, and can you on
who didn't you
I'm on
work with?
Forrest Gump.
You know, who did you really miss? Not anybody. I mean,
I've been very lucky.
George Clooney, you're right. You know, we're going to have to get George to call you and put you in the film. I have
Robert Redford's another one I want to work with.
Who?
So there you go. Robert Redford.
There you go. I love Robert Redford.
I like Robert Redford, but I think he's a snobby, waspy kind of a guy. I don't think he gives much in the film. He's sort of self-contained when he acts. He's not. He doesn't give it to the audience. He keeps it. It's like he's doing it for himself.
But that's interesting.
Huh?
That's interesting to watch, keeping it to yourself and let the audience experience it instead of pointing it out to them and saying, "Here, you should feel this."
Right, and very few actors. Greta Garbo did that.
Right.
I don't know. I love that movie, The Last Castle. So. I think it's a great movie, so I just dig it. So, all right, everybody. So this is Brett Rice. You guys check it out, brettrice.com. Follow him on Twitter. We want to thank you for coming on the show. Really, your body of work is unbelievable. And next year, when everything comes out, we'd love to have you back. It's been a lot of fun. We love your work, and we want to thank you for coming on the Jimmy Star Show.
And everyone that watches his films, pay attention to him and the other actors that carry the stars. Don't only give the stars the importance. Everybody on a production carries the film. Remember that. Not just one person. Sometimes, I mean, Louise Rayner, nobody knows who she is, but she was an old actress, got an Academy Award for answering a telephone and crying on a phone. And that's what makes Hollywood Hollywood. When people give a performance for 1 second, and sometimes character actors do that, and the star looks better. So love your character actors, because I sure do.
Thanks for appreciating those of us who do a lot of the character work. We really enjoy it.
It's hard work.
It is hard work, but it's fun. It is fun.
Good, and good luck to you. Break a leg,
Thank you so much. Say hi to Clint and everybody for us on Monday.
You're a nice guy.
Be good. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.